Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Cancer, tonight we have the Ace of Wands, which really is such a powerful energy, isn't it? That fire, that cosmic fire, that creative fire. It just flows through everything. It is the thing that brings life. I think also maybe consciousness. It is the thing that really does. It flows through, it animates. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and knock, and we're going to see what do these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not been here before, I want to tell you, thank you for choosing to click on this reading. You maybe have not seen tea leaf readings before. I really appreciate you taking a chance. And for those of you that are returning, welcome back. Thank you for sharing your time with me. It is most precious, as we all know. So, let's get started. I get really the first impression that there's been a little bit of maybe a disturbance within the family, within your friends group, or maybe maybe one particular relationship, but it feels close. And we have a person here, standing here. I almost imagine a tree. Really, like going... This is funny. It reminds me kind of a character from Over the Garden Wall, which is kind of a cartoon anime type of show. I know. But really this kind of cute, youthful energy, right? Innocence. Maybe a little bit of wonder still, but perceptive, okay? In the tree, I imagine kind of showing up in the old forest, right? Old growth forest is what I should say. So ancient. This thing is not just one tree. It is all interconnected as we are learning about plants and trees. They have huge, expansive networks. And so you arrive at this place that is so connected. It is beautiful. Have you been to the forest before? Have you seen the dirt and the moss and the deep, deep, earthy colors? It sings to my heart. I'm a Virgo after all. I'm a very earth-based person. So I see you really, and this might be in the real world. Maybe you live in the forest. Maybe you're going to the mountains, to the forest to commune. But this is more, I think, symbolic, right? And so I imagine this kind of primordial energy showing up in your life, beginning to reveal to you where things maybe have been a little troubled, where maybe you have succumbed to your duties, your conditioning, how you were raised, how you were taught to behave, how we kind of mimic and model relationships, friendships, close family interactions, dynamics. And we do. We play out the same things that we grow up around, the things that we see other people doing, the family down the street, the family from church, TV, growing up on sitcoms and, whatever else. And we mimic it. We play these ordeals, these scenarios out in our lives. And I see you coming to this realization through specifically some situation that is coming up. These circumstances have led to this moment where it's almost like, there's a break in the canopy, right? Where all the trees kind of come together, their branches reaching each other, all the leaves are filled in, and usually it's pretty shaded. If you go into the forest, it's pretty dark in there. Well, at times, right, the wind might blow, or you might find a little spot where the sun is coming down, and I feel like this is it, right? This is a moment where it's kind of like, hey, you've been dwelling in this kind of murky situation. The way that this person talks to you, or this group of people, the way that they treat you, there's something, I almost feel like it's just straight up disrespectful. But you gave them their allowances, right? You tried to maybe reason it out, or, oh, that's just how they act, or they've always been like that, or they went through something and I'm just going to, deal with some of the little things, the personality things. But I think at this point, it kind of really, it can't be ignored. And you're at this point where it's kind of a breaking open. And really, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm not going to deal with the way that people treat each other. If it is not something that feels comfortable to me, if it is something that makes me hurt or feel, destabilized, disenfranchised, alienated, it makes you question your confidence, your ability, who you are as a person, whatever it is. Not putting up with that anymore. As I got older, I started to realize, I looked around, and I saw that there were people who had friendships, relationships, families, where people weren't putting each other down. In fact, they were supporting one another. And I thought, what the heck? Is this a whole show? Like, are they pretending? Is this how families can be? Yeah, it's true. There are people out there that live that way. And when you start to really see that, when you start to notice it, and not just like envy, like, oh, I wish, how lucky. Well, yeah, it's work to have a family that lives as healthy as they can together. It's a lot of work. It might look seamless and easy, but it's not. And when you realize this, I feel like for you, there's no going back. You've seen what you cannot unsee. And what you've seen is whoever this is, or whatever group of people in your life this is, you will not put up with their behavior anymore. You will not put up with the way they treat you anymore. And going into this new cycle, I do. I see you really taking hold of this energy, grabbing onto that fire, that absolute, like, if you could imagine just like a flowing current through your life, grabbing a hold of it and not letting go, because this is not where you're going to end up. This is not the last place, and these are not the people that you're going to surround yourself with who treat you poorly. Now, let's keep going. Now, that's kind of a big old lecture there. Now, let's see. We have 22, 22. So we have 2, 2, 2, 2. So 22 seems like a really important number. We also have the same character here, right here. You can see with the little head here. Here's the body. Sitting beside, or maybe on the back of, a kind of a serene looking image of, it looks like a deer to me. You can see here's the nose, here's the head kind of facing this way, here's the body. Okay, now also holding over here, immediately to me it said apple. So this is about health. Okay, this is about prioritizing your well-being. Now, we also have what looks like a little angel right here. You can see the wings, you can see the little body. And to me, this really is, it's that intervention that needed to happen, right? And I think a lot of it is whatever stress you've been living under, the dramas of the family or friends group or whoever it is. Maybe it's even work. I don't know. Maybe you spend a lot of time at work and you're around these people, and, you know, there's like a faction of them that just, it causes a lot of stress. And it starts to manifest in your body. Even in this moment, your shoulders tight, your jaw clenched. Listen to your body right now. What does it feel like? Are you relaxed? Are you in a state of stress? There's so many times in my life where I stop and I think, my goodness, I am so wound up, and I didn't even realize. I had no perception of it until I really thought about it. My hands are clenched and my jaw is set, and I just, you know? And so we let it go. We breathe. We breathe and we allow ourselves to walk away. Whatever is going on, I'm not going to say it's there's no way to fix this. Because listen, it's not about fixing. In my mind, I think it's more about rearranging things. A lot of times it's about where we lend our power to. But, of course, there are things that are unavoidable. People in our lives who cause chaos and pain, and maybe they're very self-centered. Maybe even narcissistic. Maybe even abusive. And sometimes it takes a while to come to these realizations, to really strip away the layers and see, yeah, this is not okay. And it's been going on for so long, and I've been pardoning so many of these behaviors that it has become normal, which is so detrimental to your well-being, right? And so I do. I see you focusing on yourself. We also have, with that deer, an energy of the divine really, really being activated in your life. And you spending time contemplating, deciding, how will I take back my energies, my vitality, that fiery sustenance that flows through me? I am becoming activated. I'm not letting all of this creative force, this emotionality spill out into other people's bowls. I am allowing myself to bask in it. And I see you really, really beginning to formulate what is next. And not just thinking about it, but making a huge effort towards it. And a lot of this year is going to be about your health. Now, it could be physical, it could be, mental health stuff, it could be spiritual health, financial health, all of them maybe. Oftentimes, right? We start out on this self-healing, self-development, growth cycle, and we think, oh, I just got to work on, my physical form, getting healthy, whatever that means, right? It's different for each of us. And as you begin that journey, you start to realize, well, maybe I'll start seeing my therapist again, or maybe I'll start going to church again. Maybe I'll start going to temple again. Maybe this is, the time where I have that thing, that spark, where I can see clearly how I want my life, how I want to be, what I want to be, what I am changing into. And you put all of yourself into it. And it flows in all of these different sectors of your life. Now, these moments don't always happen. In fact, I think they're pretty rare the older we get, right? At least for me. But when they're there, when the opportunity reveals itself, you must take hold. You must heed its call. And I see you doing this. And I see, your well-being better for it. So, I also want to look, we have a seahorse right here. This is about a father energy. Okay, the seahorse for me is always about dad. And we know, right, if you know anything about seahorses, the fathers, the males, right, they carry the babies and they're the ones that birth them, and it is really very much an anomaly, right? And so symbolically, it is often tied to this father energy, this masculine caregiver energy. And this one's pretty large. The other thing about the seahorses is their little tails. Now, if you have ever seen them on videos or in person or whatever, you will know that they kind of tie themselves to plants, right? They're floating around and then they tie their little tail to something. They get anchored. And then they kind of sleep, right? The current kind of blows them around, or they're hiding in the leaves or whatever. And so for this, I feel like there's really this energy of looking towards that masculine father energy. Now, they might still be alive in your life. Maybe they have transitioned, even maybe long ago, right? You might be thinking back to your younger years, but there is something there. There's a wisdom there. There's something that you were taught, or many things you were taught, I imagine, but there's a key there. So go back in your mind. And I think it's really important here to contemplate what, and it does, it feels like, what sacred advice. And now it might not be overtly spiritual or religious, but this was really important advice that you received. And so going back and communing with that energy, I think that's very important. I get the feeling that you had a masculine caretaking relationship. Maybe it was dad, older brother, grandfather, stepfather, whoever it was. And there was just such a sense of safety and sureness about the world through them. And they treated you well. And that was the thing. They treated you well. They listened to you. They protected you. They noticed you. They saw you. Where most other people in your life maybe have just kind of, they know who you are. They know you're there. But they didn't take a lot of time to get to know you. Well, this person did. And I think that this is the energy that you need to lean into. Okay? All right, let's take a look over here. We have, the number 307 right here. You have the moon as well, which is no surprise for you, Cancer. And really, I feel there is like this push towards wanting to find some happiness, like just moments of okayness, being at ease, maybe a little bit of excitement about something. And that's coming. I don't know that it's going to be right now, in this moment, or maybe even tomorrow, but you are getting there. You are on your way. I know that there is some kind of lingering fog, maybe a kind of brain fog feeling, or melancholy, or both. Maybe a little bit of, I don't know, even like kind of feeling a little bit let down. And I don't think about anything in particular, but kind of just this general dissatisfaction. But you're working through that. You are jumping on that fiery stallion, and you're going to ride yourself right out of there, right? I wish it could be that easy. But I do feel like you will. You're finding your way out. And now with the moon, I feel like maybe this is also assisted with a creative endeavor. Okay, so it could be something real formal like painting. It could be something a little less like journaling. Maybe you're retiling the bathroom and this is where you're doing your thinking, something. There is something being produced, created. And I think this will assist you in that energy to keep you flowing forward. Okay. All right, let's do our lucky numbers. 63, number 63, 52, 63, 52, 7. All right. Now, we're going to finish off with our Wild Offering Oracle cards here. And I'm just going to flip through these, and they kind of just punctuate the reading, okay? I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says ambition. And this is, you have a lot of ambition, don't you? May I offer all of my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me for the highest good. Please use me for the highest good. And I really do. I feel like this is it, right? That plan is coming into focus, and it's not just in your mind. You are taking action in this next cycle, and that's a wonderful thing. All right, Cancer. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. Absolutely. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. Also, liking the video or leaving a comment. I would love to hear from you. And liking the video really does help the channel, supposedly. All of the interaction, I guess it helps boost the video. And for that, I'm thankful when you help us out here at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. And I thank you for kind of just putting up with me. I know my schedule has been way off, right? In the new year coming up here, I'm absolutely getting back on, the schedule for the videos and hopefully being able to do more general readings, okay? It's just been very busy over here and dealing with on and off illnesses in the house. So I apologize for all of that. But yes, we will be having, back to how it was before. Videos coming out when they're supposed to. So thank you so much for being understanding about that. Yeah, and other than that, again, I just want to say I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going into the new year. Here we go. It's going to be a good one. I can feel it. Against all odds, right? It's going to go good. All right. I love you. Good night.